Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt a deep aching disconnect between who you are and who you know you were meant to be? We live in a world of instant. Instant food, instant fame, instant success. But in the kingdom of heaven there is a different rhythm. There is a divine blueprint for your soul that doesn't happen in a flash of lightning. It happens in the quiet, steady work of a master craftsman. You might feel stuck. You might feel like your flaws are too many and your progress is too slow. But what if I told you that your slow progress is actually proof of God's meticulous care? The sources tell us that God has exactly one plan for your life, to lead you into His glory and transform you into His image bit by bit. Today we aren't just talking about a makeover. We are talking about a metamorphosis. From the fading light of the past to an eternal unshakable brilliance that never dims. Thousands of years ago a man named Moses climbed a mountain to meet the Creator. When he came down the people couldn't even look at him. His skin was radiating a physical light so intense it terrified them. Under the old covenant that glory was terrifying because it was etched in stone, a law that pointed out every flaw but couldn't fix the heart. Moses had to wear a veil because that light, as powerful as it was, began to fade the moment he stepped away from the presence of God. But here is the mystery revealed in the sources: we are living in a new era. If the old way, the one that pointed out our guilt, was glorious, how much more radiant is the way of grace that makes us righteous? Under this new promise the veil is gone. When we turn our hearts to the Lord, the curtain is pulled back. We aren't just looking at the glory from a distance, we are being invited to step into it. The Spirit of God brings freedom, and as we look into the mirror of His Word we don't just see our reflection, we see His. When you spend time in the presence of God daily, something supernatural begins to happen. You aren't just learning about Him, you are absorbing Him. Transformation isn't an overnight miracle that turns a seeker into an apostle in 24 hours. God is a patient Father. He doesn't want to just change your clothes. He wants to change your nature. He works on one habit, one thought, one bit at a time. If Moses' face could shine just by visiting the mountain occasionally, imagine what happens to your life when the Holy Spirit actually makes His home inside of you. You start to carry a light that doesn't fade when you leave the church building. It stays. It grows. It becomes your new identity. Think of the potter. Before the clay becomes a masterpiece, it has to be cleaned. The potter spends time removing the tiny stones and impurities that would make the vessel crack under the heat of the kiln. This is the bit-by-bit process. God doesn't just smash the clay and start over, He works with it. He uses a dual approach. One hand supports you with grace while the other hand applies the pressure of trials to shape you. You might feel the pressure today. You might feel like you're being squeezed by circumstances, financial stress, health issues, or broken relationships. But the sources suggest that these aren't just accidents, they are often the tools God uses to help us realize what we need to let go of. Maybe it's a habit of anger. Maybe it's a secret addiction or a heart full of unforgiveness. God is so loving that He won't let you stay the way you are if it's going to destroy your future. He would rather put you through the furnace of affliction to refine you than see you lose the destiny He has for you. Consider King David. He was anointed to be king when he was just a teenager. But he didn't sit on the throne the next day. He spent nearly 15 years in the wilderness being hunted like an animal. Why the delay? Because God was changing him bit by bit. He needed enough grace and character to handle the weight of a crown. Even when he finally became king, it was only over one tribe, Judah, for 7 years before he ruled all of Israel. Walking with God isn't a fast-track ticket, it's a journey. You might be in your shepherd phase right now. You might feel like your talents are being wasted in a job that doesn't recognize you. But if you are in His presence, you are in His school. Every day you choose to pray, every day you choose to forgive that person who hurt you, every day you choose to be honest when it's easier to lie, that is a bit of transformation. You are gaining the weight of glory that will allow you to stand in the place God is preparing for you. There is a warning in this beauty. God is incredibly patient. The sources describe Him as slow to anger, waiting years for us to align with His voice. He starts with a whisper, a still small voice in your heart saying, stop that habit. Spend less time on that distraction. Forgive that person. But if we ignore the whisper, the voice eventually becomes a thunderclap. Not because he is mean but because he is a father who refuses to watch his child walk off a cliff. If you refuse to change bit by bit in the quiet, he may have to use the fire of a crisis to get your attention. If you feel a pinch in your spirit today, a realization that you've been making excuses for a sin or a shortcut, take it as a sign of his love. It means he hasn't given up on you. The most dangerous place to be is in a position where you are doing wrong and everything feels fine. That means the potter has stopped working the clay. But if you are feeling the heat, rejoice. It means the master is still at the wheel. There is a common myth that God has a plan B, C, and D for your life. But the truth is simpler and more profound. He has one plan. His plan is to use you. His plan is to bless you. His plan is to make you look like his son. You can take the long road through the wilderness like Jonah, or you can take the direct path of obedience. Either way, the destination remains the same, his glory. Don't be discouraged by the bit-by-bit nature of your walk. Perfection isn't the requirement for today, presence is. Sit in his light. Let the veil fall away. The God who started this good work in you is faithful. He isn't going to leave you half finished. Day by day. Prayer by prayer. Bit by bit. You are becoming the reflection of the divine. So trust the process. Your masterpiece is still under construction. Comment below, I trust the process, if you're not quitting. Share this with someone who needs to keep going. Bit by bit. Glory to glory. The transformation continues.